Yo, it's the FAB show. It's your boy Marcus Willis.
Devin Jackson.
We just got done watching the Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia fight, and it was pretty interesting.
It was.
Like we thought, Errol was gonna take control. Surprisingly, Mikey is a beast.
He got a chin.
Mikey is
tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tough.
After seeing that, I honestly can say nobody at 140 or below beats Mikey Garcia.
Nah,
nobody.
Not taking that kind of punishment.
Yeah.
That dude, he's relentless. I mean, he stayed in there and knew he was getting beaten and have a chance of winning, but continues to fight.
Yeah, he's mentally strong. He hung in there. And I will say, Earl did everything I thought he would except stop Mikey.
Yeah.
He did things I didn't even think he was going to do. He controlled range really well. I was most impressed with that.
His defense was much better.
Yep.
He slipped
Slipping
and
and rolling.
Yeah, he moved that head like you say. Most times he right here, but it was dodging shit. But he did exactly what we thought he would do, except for get rid of Mikey. That's true testament to Mikey being a warrior, man. That dude, he stepped up 2 weight classes.
Yep.
And you could see the size difference. It seemed like as the fight went on, it seemed like Earl just got bigger and
stronger.
Bigger. Yeah, it was like you just see the height difference, the size difference. It was like he just kept
around round
up.
7,
Going
everything
Super
showed.
Saiyan.
Yep, showed it. Yep. And Mikey, somehow he kept his composure under that type of heat. His defense stayed tight. And I was surprised with that. And those body shots I thought was going to break Mikey, but he actually held up with that.
I think it was the 9th or the 10th round. He caught Mikey with a straight left hand to the body.
Yeah.
Yo, it like he just sunk his whole fist in his back, bro. I was like, oh shit, how did he not go down?
Yeah. He caught Mikey with a couple hard ones, and I was like, that could have been it.
Yeah. A lot of things I seen Earl not turning his hooks over. He slapped a lot with his hooks. I think that probably was the defining factor of him not knocking Mikey out, because he didn't knuckle up on a lot of hooks. If he would have knuckled up on all those hooks he landed, I don't think Mikey would have lasted.
Yeah,
and
I also noticed
caught with some flush shots.
Yeah, he did, real flush. And actually, those were the shots that were landing clean with the slaps.
The slaps, yeah.
Yeah.
Had he turned those over,
it would have been over.
Yeah.
And a couple times he, early on, he started throwing his right hook over the top, and he was missing. He was throwing it too hard and opened up a little too wide.
Yeah.
And his coach, told him, just let your shots go. Don't worry about the power. So there were a couple of things he could have done right, but most of what he did was great.
Yeah, I think with anybody, like a Keith Thurman or T-Bud, I think if he, throws himself off like that, throwing those big shots and missing a lot, reaching, he reached a lot and threw the left hand to the body off a lot. He would have to definitely correct that with top caliber. Well, not saying that Mike is not a top caliber fighter, but a bigger top caliber fighter.
Right. And I noticed he's gotten great at his in and out, especially with Mikey.
Yeah, he controlled that distance.
But when he gets in there with naturally bigger guys, he's going to have to work on stepping over and stepping lively. Yeah. Because those guys are going to have something coming back at his head.
True indeed. But first 2 rounds, the first round definitely, was a fill-out round. Definitely gave that one to Earl. The second round, I thought, damn, Mikey finna make this a fight. Yeah. It looked interesting. I'm like, okay, Mikey throwing something, he thumping a little bit. Yeah. And then as the rounds progressed, it started just, Earl just started pulling away. But Mikey was there. He got beat up, but he didn't get demolished. He was there. He was there the whole time.
He was still game.
Yeah,
Earl had to have something to respect.
Exactly.
And occasionally he would catch Earl, but by the time the 8th round came, you could see Mikey was feeling the 147-pound division. He was feeling that extra weight. Yeah. He looked not lazy. He looked a little
deflated.
Yeah, he didn't have enough energy to do what he needed to do. And surprisingly, his countering was not there for him. It would always fall short, and that's thanks to Earl's slipping and range. Yeah,
he controlled distance very well, in and out, and just that long jab. Mikey wanted to counter. You seen him? I forget what round it was. It was 7th or 8th, where Earl popped 2 jabs, and Mikey went to counter with 3 different shots and pulled all 3 of them. It's just when you don't have that range, you don't trust yourself. You don't trust your distance. You don't trust throwing punches, and especially fighting somebody with the power that Earl has. You're gonna be very very slow by throwing whatever you want.
And I noticed the power they weren't always Earl's hardest shots, but when he threw that power at Mike, he kind of stuck him up to where he was like, oh, I can't throw a counter because he's getting knocked back a little bit. So he was taken back on his heels quite a bit in that fight.
Yeah.
So, and around round 9, Earl really started turning it up. And then after that beating he put on Mikey in round 9, Mikey tried to fight with him in round 10.
Yeah.
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 And then Earl started
definitely stepped on the gas.
Yeah. And then around 10 or 11 and 12, he really tried to get Mikey out of there.
The last 20, 30 seconds of the fight, like Errol took off. He didn't throw a punch at all for the last 10, 15 seconds, and that showed his respect for Mikey.
Right.
You know, like Mikey weathered the storm and was there the whole time, and Errol just backed off the last. He didn't throw a punch at all the last 10 seconds. I would expect him to
try to see what he can do. He put him on his
home run. Yeah. But that shows the respect that Mikey had, or the respect that Errol has for Mikey, and just how composed and grounded that Errol is as well.
Right. I would like to see Mikey go back down to 140. As long as this fight didn't take too much out of him as a fighter, I think he goes undefeated at 140 and below. I don't think anybody can beat him down there.
Not at all. And the coaches, Robert's a great coach, his brother. Yeah. And remember we was talking about Derrick James in the corner, and he's over there like, good shit, Mikey. And I'm looking, I'm like, hold on. Like, I'm like, oh, that's Derrick James, man. What the hell? Like,
he's a fan.
He over here cheering for Mikey and giving him props and everything. I'm like, man, that shows the foundation and just the camaraderie that the camps have for each other. That was big right there to see that.
Yeah, that's a lot of respect right there. They can respect each other. And also what I liked about both coaches is from Robert, he cared enough for his brother to say, do you want me to stop this? He kept checking in with his brother to make sure he was all right. We need more coaches like that instead of letting a fighter go out and take a beating, when they've already been defeated. And from Derrick James, he had a game plan. He broke everything down. He had Errol go out there, see what Mikey had. Then he had Errol start boxing him purposefully with some power shots. And then when the time was right, he had him turn it up on Mikey Garcia. So they systematically broke it down.
They had it. It was tactical. They definitely did their work. And, coaches, both coaches did a great job.
Yeah.
Robert was definitely good with, talking to Mikey in the corner, making sure he was okay. He was going to stop the fight. And, Mikey, wanted to keep going. And it shows you, like, with family being there, he's going to take care of it.
Right.
But Mikey was coherent enough to where, Robert was comfortable with him going back out there and finishing the fight. I think it was more so about heart, and just finishing the job, regardless of, whether they were going to lose or not. So, great job on both coaches. They did a good job, and it's good to see fights like that, and like just the whole just corner connections like that.
Yeah.
And camp connections. So good fight, definitely. On coaching and fighting.
Yeah, both
sides. Yeah. So potential fights for Errol coming up.
There's a lot of them.
What we got? We got
a Crawford. We got Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, and Sean Porter.
Sean Porter was in the crowd with the green
leprechaun suit.
Pimp leprechaun suit. My dog, Pimp Irish. But so let's start off with Sean, since he was there. I think the last 2 fights that Sean has had, he hasn't been fighting like himself.
Right.
He's tried to box more. I don't think the Sean that we're seeing fight right now will be Earl.
Right. I think trying to box with Earl, given his style, I think is suicide. I think he'll get picked off on the end of heavy shots. He needs to get in there with his movement and make it rough and bring that dog out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the way that he fought Berto and Paulie, Keith, and everybody prior to that,
right.
I don't think any fighter, could stand up to it. I'm surprised that, that Keith beat him.
Yeah. Keith had to dig in.
Yeah, he definitely had to dig in. That's a tough fight for anybody to fight.
Yep.
And it's like a Maidana, but he's a more skilled boxing,
right.
just brute. warrior. You know, he just comes forward, but he has great boxing ability, which he has shown his last 2 fights. But I think he has a better chance at beating anybody the way that he fought previous to these last 2 fights.
I agree.
Yeah. So Sean Porter prior to his last 2 fights would beat Earl if he fights the way that he's been fighting, which I think will continue.
Right. I have Earl on that one.
Yeah, Earl beats him. And then we got T-Bud, Terrence Crawford. Before, I didn't think Terrence had a chance. After watching this Mikey Garcia fight, Earl showed me some flaws with reaching and throwing big, leaving himself open. I think Terrence will capitalize on that.
Right.
Mikey didn't have the range to, you know. So I think with the dynamics that Terrence brings, you know, switching up and his angles, his craftiness, I think that he would definitely capitalize on those mistakes that Earl made in this fight.
Yeah, I think he'll give Earl hell. You know, I think that's a 50-50. He's very rangy when he wants to be. He can fight on the inside. He can box all night long. Earl might be chasing a ghost if he's not careful in that fight. And I don't know what it is about Crawford, but if you look at his whole career, over the course of his career, guys who were overly aggressive, who pursued him, especially early, ended up getting knocked out by Crawford.
Yeah.
Like, so
Gamboa.
Right.
Yeah. It was a big one there. Shoot, Gamboa was getting in Crawford's. Getting in Crawford's ass. And, he turned it around.
Yeah, real quick.
And it was ugly.
Yeah, it was.
It was ugly. But like the midget fighting for bad center. but yeah, I think Earl and Terrence, it's a toss up too.
Yeah. That's perfect matchup of styles.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's a 50-50 fight for me. That's may the best man win in that fight.
Yeah.
You don't know what's gonna happen. Who we got after that? We
have
Keith
Thurman.
So Keith has been inactive,
Yep.
for 2 years. He just came back against Jose Lopez and looked very good. You know, for being off that long, I think he did phenomenal. And a lot of people gave him heck about getting hurt and caught and everything.
Yeah.
But when you're out of the ring that long, your
You're
defense,
gonna have ring rust.
you had that ring rust. He got caught with some good stuff, and that's boxing. You're gonna get clipped. But he weathered the storm and finished it out.
And he looked sharp. His offense was there. Pop, 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 pop. He was sharp, crisp. I think a lot of people, they forget too easily in boxing. Keith Thurman, to me, is like the golden child of the 147-pound division. I mean, he beat hot Danny Garcia. He beat Sean Porter when he was hot. He's got plenty of former world champions. His record is good. And people forget he was unified champ. You know, he's just been out for a little minute. But when Keith Thurman is healthy, and he's healthy now, you know, he gets his timing and everything back, I think he beats Earl.
Yeah, I think so too. Keith is very very versatile and awkward, mobile. You know, I think all of his angles, he's going to punch from different angles. That's going to confuse and it's going to tire. It's going to tire Earl. Earl's not being used to seeing a lot of different things in front of him. He's breaking people down.
Right.
So they kind of submit. Keith's going to give him mental hell and physical hell.
Yeah. Earl's gotten very good at in and out. He's great at it now in range, but he's going to have to learn to cut the ring off better because Thurman, he can move.
Yeah.
And if Earl's not careful, he's going to get walked into some big shots. And I've never seen Earl consistently hit by big punches from a big puncher, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah. We don't know what Earl is going to, Earl is a dog. We know that. But we haven't really seen him have to bring that dog out.
Right. And in a change of pace, we've never seen that.
Exactly. So I think the pace, you know, that's something that I want to see. I want to see how he handles somebody that's consistently there.
Right.
And that can weather, you know, the storm and his pressure and actually make him fight harder.
Yeah.
You know, because
he's
never had to really like fight hard.
Right. It's always been at his leisure.
Yeah.
And what I'm interested in seeing is how he deals with guys who are right here. You know, those guys are so comfortable because that's their weight. They'll make you miss by inches and then pay you back. You know, they're not out of range. So I'm interested to see how Errol, you know, adjusts to that.
Yeah, had Mikey had that range, he may have landed some stuff. You know, he fights a bigger fighter.